Hello, everyone. This is an introduction to the film you're about to see, Paleovirology, Ghosts and Gifts of Ancient Viruses. This is a guest lecture by a very famous researcher named by Harmick Malik, who's discussing a new topical field, which is how retroviruses can affect the actual evolutionary sequence of mammalian, and particularly in humans. How these little things which we think that are designed just to make us ill can actually have profound genetic changes on us and our evolutionary future as we look at our evolutionary past. So in particular, Harmit Malik is going to be discussing a type of virus known as a retrovirus. And why he will give you a complete explanation of the retrovirus and how it actually works within the genome, suffice to say I'll give you a little preamble on this right now. That a retrovirus is a type of virus that inserts a copy of its RNA into the DNA of the host. Okay? So once it does that, the virus uses its own enzymes, which are called reverse transcriptases, and they go and they find that RNA sequence in your DNA, okay? And they read it and they reverse transcript backwards, right? They make DNA from the RNA. So once that DNA is made by the virus, right, the DNA, because you have RNA inserted into your DNA, a viral enzyme, right, known as a reverse transcriptase, makes DNA out of it, and thus the virus has made its own DNA. The virus then takes this DNA which it made and uses its own enzyme called integrase, and then splices it back into your DNA again. It's not as RNA, but as actual DNA. And then the host, you, will treat that viral DNA as part of your own genome. You'll go through transcription, translation, and cause that DNA sequence to produce viral proteins. Now, normally, if all the virus DNA is inserted into your genome correctly, the virus particles which are actually produce the proteins will assemble themselves into new copies of the virus, and those viruses will overwhelm your cell and kill your cell and move on to the next cell. That's how viruses move through your body. But what if there was an incomplete integration of all the necessary vital proteins and it didn't kill your cell? Well, then you would be producing viral proteins, that you could be utilizing for other processes in your body. They could be doing things that weren't there before, right? Sometimes these things are wanted, sometimes these things are not wanted, and sometimes these things have no effects whatsoever. Now, if this process happens in the primary sex cells, in the gonads, then you're going to be producing gametes, which are going to be, with extra sections of viral DNA, which your progeny will produce as viral proteins will be treating of their own proteins, which can go into the development and maintenance of the new bodies in the new future, right? So that's evolution and happening if they cause changes. Now, normally when we think about viruses, we think about things which are harmful, and normally in the past, that's how they've actually been studied. So the major classes, of these things are known as, first class is known as, these oncogenic vector viruses, are things in which cause cancers, and they can, absolutely, viruses are known to cause cancers. Then we have things called lentiviruses. And these are called slow viruses. And normally these sort of slow viruses will cause things like immunodeficiency diseases in humans. And they can, and other species too, which are very negative. And then what we have a class called spumaviruses, otherwise foamy viruses. Now here's the thing about these foamy viruses. They're not linked to any diseases in humans. That we know that the DNA, once the viral DNA is in the human genome, that the proteins are being expressed. They don't seem like they're having a negative effect, but if a protein is there, it's active. It has the potential to have a function. And that function can, again, be positive, negative, or neutral. And it's believed that many of the changes that we have seen in mammals and as well as humans have been responsible by these spumaviruses, these foamy viruses. So in this video, I'll be looking at the potential for that and some of the things that we actually do know about these retroviruses and how they have actually worked and integrated into our genome, and how some of these viruses link us evolutionarily to other mammals as well, and importantly, primates. All right, so I hope you enjoy this.